Alright, gonna mention right out the gate, this video is brought to you by Raycon. Gonna talk about that a little later, but first, The Boys Season 3. We gotta talk about The Boys Season 3, 1 week after The Boys Season 3 finale aired. Leave the audience wanting anything at all. That's my mantra, that's my code. But I thought The Boys Season 3 was great. It's the season we're talking about. Also gonna give you a spoiler warning. It's not gonna be a play-by-play. I know I say that in my spoiler videos, but this more so than the spoiler videos. Like, there's gonna be a lot in this season I don't talk about, because these are my general thoughts on season 3. Not gonna get too specific all the time, but there are some things in the finale I felt are worth talking about, and you can't talk about the finale and now give a spoiler warning. It's common courtesy. Right, so in general, The Boys is just great television. The Boys Season 3 and Obi-Wan were airing around parallel to each other, and I was like, well, I gotta pick one. I just felt like I couldn't do videos on episodes, each episode, each week on 2 shows. Just felt like a bit much. I don't know why. It probably would have been fine if I did. I just felt like I had to pick one. So I chose Obi-Wan. It was around halfway through I felt the whisper of the night from The Last Crusade in my ear.
You have chosen poorly.
Yeah, well, maybe I did. But The Boys is just one of those shows. When it's on every week, I just wait for that next episode. So the general gist of The Boys Season 3, in a world where The Boys always has branching storylines and side storylines, if I could concisely focus it up, The Boys free this old soldier, this old hero of yesteryear named Soldier Boy, played by Jensen Ackles. They're like, we need your help to kill Homelander, and he's like, great, I'll help you, as long as you help me track down my old crew who betrayed me. I want some revenge of my own. They're like, deal. Also, there's this new compound V called Temp V, and it doesn't make you a superhero forever, it just gives you powers for a day. And I thought both of these introductions to the show for this season, Temp V and Soldier Boy, I thought they were excellent. First of all, Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy was incredible. Soldier Boy is to Captain America what Homelander is to Superman. You know, he's that parallel. He's just this gruff, militant, rough around the edges asshole who's just a scene stealer. Soldier Boy, I think we should do this. I think you should choke on my ball sack. Jensen Ackles was great. I haven't seen him in a role like this before, so I'm just like, I can't believe he's so good at this. Also, the Soldier Boy quest to find his old team and take him out. There was something about this old soldier hunting down his old team who have superpowers, and he's taking them out. There's something very Metal Gear about it. I mean, it's not verbatim. It's not the plot of Metal Gear. But there was some sort of connective tissue with Metal Gear that I just enjoyed watching him quest to take out his old crew. I mean, granted, the dude's as morally compromised as the rest of the morally compromised, superpowered people in the show, but that's the point of the show. It's very enemy of my enemy, and if it's not enemy of my enemy, it's very... how to phrase it. Aim the cannon in the right direction and hope you take out the other cannon. Sometimes you need Kano to take out Shao Kahn. It's as simple as that. Actually, it very much reminds me of Mortal Kombat. The show understands that people like seeing entertaining villains. Also, the Temp V arc. So Butcher and Huey both take Temp V and they get superpowers. Butcher has eye lasers and he's super strong. Huey can teleport, though he teleports, his clothes are left behind, so he just teleports naked every time. The reason I like that is because it gives insight, you know? It's easy to see how these superheroes are assholes and they're scumbags. But it's another thing to be able to get those powers and feel the intoxicating nature of those powers and be like, oh, now I completely understand why they're that way. It gives the characters, Butcher especially, an insight into his enemy that he just wouldn't have otherwise. I appreciate that about the show. Also, it leads to some tension between him and the boys. It was a plot device that could have been just like the cliche, okay, now the good guys get superpowers now, but they did it in a way that served the characters. I appreciate that about this season. But the scene stealer, 3 seasons running, Anthony Starr as Homelander, the dude is just incredible. He's a rarity. You know, he's like one of those actors who portrays a character in such a way where it's like when he comes on screen, you're like, oh, okay, it's on. Is he gonna do shitty things? Yep. Am I gonna be glued to the screen the entire time? Absolutely. These are guarantees I can make you, and Anthony Starr crushes it once again. I looked into it. He's never been nominated for an Emmy for this show. How? In a world where you feel like, okay, I kind of know what Homelander is, this season just ramps it up. Homelander is one bad day away from taking us all back to the Stone Age. He's one mean tweet away from all of us suffering the consequences of it. He even has this dialogue in here where he's like, I like being loved, but I forgot how he phrased it, but he's pretty much like, but I'll take ruling the Cinder. That'll be fine. So all the blackmail they had on the guy, you know, the cell phone video and the plane's pretty much like, yeah, release it. What do I care? I love the fact that there was this realization where it's like, that threat only has as much power as I give it, and I'm pretty much a god on Earth. What do I care about my image really. I mean, people love being loved. That's the thing, that Homelander is a human being still. He's not an alien from another planet who's pretty much like, Earth is mine to own. It's fine. I genuinely don't care about my social media image. He's been wired to care about it. So he does still care about it. But for that moment, that logic hit him where it's just like, but what do I really care about it if it really comes down to it? And I won't lie, it was fucking frightening when that realization hit Homelander, the characters in the show, me, all of us. Do you have nightmares that night? You'd be forgiven if you did. And the show really shows the power struggle. It's not even a power struggle. A power struggle denotes that, oh, this happens. There's no back and forth. He just establishes his power over other characters. Like when he made the Deep eat Timothy. It's the little octopus friend of the Deeps. And he's like, fucking eat Timothy. And the Deep has to eat this octopus. And it was, I don't think I felt that uncomfortable in a show ever. There's something about how the show illustrates how the Deep sees sea creatures as people. And there's just that knowledge of he has to eat his friend alive in one big bite. I was horrified. I think that might have been the moment where I was like, season 3 is pretty epic. Because it's getting that kind of reaction out of me. As someone who can watch Requiem for a Dream every Friday night and feel fine Saturday morning, that Timothy scene, it kind of fucked me up. Yeah, I've seen guys shrink and go into people's dick holes and then accidentally enlarge and blow that person in half. But that's the scene where I'm like, hey, a friend's over. You got to see this scene. The Timothy scene, I'm like, do you want to watch it? It will change you. I will say this is probably the most sexually explicit season. You know, shockingly so. It does so for shock factor for sure. But it does so very effectively because it's like there's this whole hero-gasm episode where it's just superhero orgies everywhere. But then you're met with, oh, Soldier Boy's coming and all these people might very well die. So the tension is still there. It's not just for the sake of hero-gasm. This is the season where it's like Frenchie and Kimiko, it's like the show is genuinely, what do we do with them? So their arc is a very personal one that feels more detached than the vision as a whole for the season 3 of the show. But I can't deny that I like the characters, you know, and I do like seeing them in the show, and I don't want the show to write them off entirely or anything. So Noir is dead. He knew about Soldier Boy being Homelander's father, and Homelander just punches him through his stomach, his intestines hanging out. I mean, the guy heals, sure. But sometimes it's like, I don't think he's coming back from that. Which I guess going forward, I don't know if you heard this, but I guess they're going to have another Noir. I mean, they can keep that up every season. Noir can die every season now. They can just have a new guy be Noir. But there was an intriguing element to Noir, you know? Like, Noir going forward, I'm going to be like, yeah, but can you play the piano? Well, like, that was one of the most intriguing things to me. I think it was the first season. Noir sits down, just looks at the person at the piano until they uncomfortably leave, and he starts playing the piano. Now, like, that moment was with that character who is dead. But going forward, I'm like, yeah, but you're not that guy. I started to get bummed out in season 3 when they started doing the whole information dump on Noir's past. I was like, whoa, that's a lot very fast. You're ruining some intrigue, but okay, now we know more. Oh, he's dead. So that's why. Okay. That's why with the info dump. And Maeve was one of those characters I felt like they didn't know what they wanted to do with Maeve. So when Maeve actually just kind of rolls her eyes like, ah, shit. And she grabs Soldier Boy when Soldier Boy is about to do the explosion thing. And they jump out the window and the explosion happens. I was like, oh, Maeve went out like a hero. I thought that was awesome. Oh, look at that. Maeve's alive. It's like another show that's afraid to commit to the deaths of the characters. Even when the character's death would have been a great death and the best way to send them out of the show. If you haven't seen Heroes, earmuffs, spoiler alert. But I hated that Nathan Petrelli lived through that, because that was supposed to be his moment where he's like, I learned to be a hero. You saved the cheerleader so we could save the world. He grabs Peter and they fly up. Boom, explosion. Oh, he's alive for season 2. I just hate it when heroic moments get undone because it's like, well, we can't kill them. But in the end, I thought The Boys season 3 was great. Season 1's tops because nothing beats that first experience, seeing this new take on superheroes and realizing that this is probably the more accurate version of them. But it's 1, 3, 2 for me. The tension was ripe. The characters, both old and new, I thought were great. And in the end, The Boys remains one of the most clever and entertaining shows that's currently on right now. And as mentioned before, this video is brought to you by Raycon earbuds. Raycon earbuds are those slick, stylish, true wireless earbuds that come in at about half the price of the competition and still crank out that sound. They have optimized gel tips for a snug fit. They're not gonna fall out of your head, and holding in the button on the left earbud for 3 seconds allows you to cycle through the different sound options: pure sound, balanced sound, and bass sound. Once I learned that took these earbuds from my workout earbuds to my workout earbuds, plus using the power of music to pass the time while doing any menial task. earbuds. And if you prefer to charge cable-free, Raycon earbuds have wireless charging capability. Props for convenience. So click the link below or go to buyraycon.com/Johns to get yourself 15% off your purchase. Because the world's always better with the power of music. All right, so The Boys Season 3. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.